Republican South Carolina Senator Tim Scott is in Yuma, Arizona today, visiting the U.S. Mexico border.
This is Scott's first visit to the border as a 2024 GOP presidential candidate. His trip comes as the Washington Post reports a surge in migrant arrests at the southern border. The senator also spoke with community leaders today about ways to eliminate illegal immigration and address ongoing problems with the cartels.
CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez joins us now from Yuma, Arizona. Camilo, tell us about Senator Scott's visit. Tell us what he saw there at the border.
Good afternoon, Lana and Michael. Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina is the latest Republican presidential candidate to visit the U.S. Mexico border. He has joined Nikki Haley, the former UN ambassador, and Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, who have also come here to the U.S. Mexico border to criticize the Biden administration's handling of the unprecedented levels of migration that we have seen here over the past 2 years. I asked Senator Scott today, Lana and Michael, whether he will join former President Donald Trump and Governor DeSantis in promising to end birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants here in the U.S. And he told me that he does not believe that the president has that authority. He is agreeing with most legal scholars who say that that would require a constitutional amendment, a change to the Constitution to enact that change. But Governor DeSantis and Trump have been competing over who has the toughest immigration platform this cycle, and they have both promised, Lana and Michael, to end birthright citizenship, a long-standing legal principle, if they are elected.
Let's talk about that. What is Senator Scott's immigration policy? What does he say he'll do if he wins, and how is that received by community leaders today?
Well, Michael, just like other Republican lawmakers and presidential hopefuls, Scott has been strongly critical of how the Biden administration has handled this massive spike in migration over the past 2 years. He promised today that he will end the system enacted by the administration that allows migrants on the other side of the border in Mexico to secure an appointment through a government app known as CBP-1 to be processed and to be allowed into the country. He said he will stop processing asylum seekers under that app. He made that news today. He also said that he will try to reinstate the Title 42 pandemic policy that allowed officials to rapidly expel migrants back to Mexico on public health grounds, but that he would do so with a different justification, and that being the fentanyl crisis. It is important to note, however, Lana and Michael, that most of the fentanyl seized here along the U.S.-Mexico border is intercepted at legal ports of entry, which are accessible to American citizens, permanent residents, and people who have legal documents to enter the U.S., not migrants. It is only in very limited circumstances that Border Patrol actually arrests migrants who are carrying drugs, including fentanyl. So we should make that point very clear.
Camilo, thank you for that clarification. I'm hoping you can also tell us about the federal appeals court ruling that took place last night that actually keeps Biden's asylum plan in place for now.
That's right, Lana. An appeals court in San Francisco has now allowed the Biden administration to continue barring some migrants from asylum here along the U.S.-Mexico border. This regulation disqualifies migrants from U.S. asylum if they enter the country illegally after failing to seek protection in a different country before coming here to American soil. It had been challenged by the ACLU, who argued that it violates U.S. asylum law, and it was actually struck down by a federal court, and that ruling was supposed to take effect on Tuesday of next week. But for now, that lower court ruling has been suspended, and the administration can continue this policy, which, Lana, it has credited for a sharp drop in the number of illegal border crossings in recent weeks.
Camilo Montoya-Galvez reporting in Yuma, Arizona. Thanks.
Thank you all.